Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and in today's video, I thought we'd return to my roots. So we're playing No Man's Sky, and I'm just going to talk about whatever. As I go through No Man's Sky, we're going to be looking for paradise planets, and I don't think I'm going to focus too much on that unless we see something really interesting. But for the time being, let's start talking about whatever is currently on my mind. And the biggest thing that is on my mind right now is this channel and the future, and how those two things interact with each other. So I made a video about a week ago, and it was just, a brief channel update, just a hey, I'm not dead kind of thing about, where I've been and that kind of thing, right? And just to summarize again, nothing bad happened. I just got busy with life stuff. So that's all it was. But I also mentioned in that video that I want to start making a different kind of content. I've really been inspired by channels like The French Whisperer and ASMRtica, and there have been other channels that are like super high production value stuff, like Atlas ASMR or Goodnight Moon, or what's the other one I've watched recently? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. It'll come to me maybe later, but anyways, I would honestly love to start doing more roleplay ASMR. It's really exciting conceptually, because I think the roleplay spectrum in the ASMR scene is just a huge way to express creativity and do a lot of really fun and interesting things. But the caveat to that, of course, is that I don't know that I want to show my face on camera, so I'm not entirely sure how to get around that right now, with the limited production value I have. And the second thing with, doing more highly produced, more, what's the word? That kind of content where it actually needs like time and effort. I have become such a perfectionist in video production that it genuinely hampers my ability to do anything. And I've talked before about when I was younger. I was in I was doing a lot of like student film stuff in high school, and I don't know what happened between then and now where I just can't look at anything I make, right? I all I see really when I try to be creative in that way is just the flaws. I've genuinely have no idea what happened in that time frame. It is debilitating at times. But I suppose it is what it is, and if you're in the content creation space, you just kind of have to live with it. It's like nobody can. There's no such thing as a perfect video, of course, but I don't know. It's just been so hard to look at the scripts that I've written and the ideas that I've had, and not feel some kind of how do you say it? Some kind. It's not imposter syndrome, because I'm not nearly successful enough to have imposter syndrome, but it's like I don't know. There's some kind of complex of some kind, but I just have this weird anxiety around my own art and my own creativity, and I don't really understand it. Not to, drop all of my nonsense on you guys, the viewers, but I think that's why, like, I have all these ideas, and I want to do it. Don't get me wrong. I love the process. I love doing it. It's just the outcome that I have trouble with. And I'm trying to get over that, right? Because I want to make the best possible content. I want to make stuff that is entertaining, stuff that I would eventually watch myself. But it has proven much more of a challenge, I guess, than I would have thought at first. So, for instance, I'll just share a couple. I have this one where I want to do like a sort of pseudo documentary thing, about the timeline of the dinosaurs, basically, and like it wouldn't be as in depth as it probably should be, because the dinosaurs were around for such a long time, but it would basically just be like a pseudo documentary about the dinosaurs, of course. So I have it written down. I have this timeline, and I have all my notes, and it's basically the Triassic. Here's kind of a glimpse into what was there and what it was like on Earth, and then you do it for the Jurassic and the Cretaceous too. Just that kind of thing. I think that would be fun. And then I have others where it follows a similar format but with different topics. Like I would love to do one about Minecraft. I wouldn't even mind doing one about No Man's Sky. Just how it started and stuff like that. Because I don't know if that kind of thing really exists in the ASMR world, right? Like, sort of like a video essay ASMR thing. I don't know if anyone would watch that, but I think it's a cool idea. I don't think I've seen it before. Whatever. But yeah, I think it would be a really cool experience to try that out, and I am working on it. I can't promise that it'll be out anytime soon, because I feel like I've been saying for months that I want to do this style of content, and it just hasn't happened yet. And I do apologize for that if any of you have heard me mention it and have started to expect it, but that's just how it goes, right? But no, I have always adored the creative process around, making that kind of stuff. It's just when I sit down and I go to, learn about editing, and I say learn about editing, I mean learning the software, because it's not a software I've used before. I know how to edit. I get that. It's just translating what I know into something new that's a bit more confusing than I thought it would be. But every time I sit down to do that, I don't know if it's like an ADHD thing. I don't even know if I have ADHD, but I have this weird, like, paralyzing fear of, I guess, failure. I don't know. It's just this really odd feeling that there's like no reason to do it, because it's like it's gonna suck and everyone's gonna hate it, and yada yada yada. Right? Not to dump all of my nonsense on you guys or anything like that, but it's just how it is, I suppose. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now with the future and all that that encompasses. But yeah, we'll get over it, I'm sure, at some point. I don't know why my scanner is not working as far away as it used to, but anyways, this is I think the second Paradise Planet now. I didn't mention the first one much. There wasn't really anything to see. What I'm looking for specifically is a Paradise Planet with some sort of rare anomaly on it, like the bubbles or the webs or the pillars. I don't even know if you can get the pillars on Paradise Planets, but I know you can get the bubbles. So this Paradise Planet that we're on right now is like this orangey red color, which is fine. I'm looking for purples and whites. I've only ever found one white. I saw a pink one the other day. I've seen plenty of blue ones. I see yellow and red a lot, but we are currently in the Subzerzal. I don't know. We're in the 27th galaxy in No Man's Sky, which is a lush galaxy. This is where you can find more Paradise Planets than any other galaxy type. That's why we're here. It took forever to get out here. But that's part of the fun, I suppose. I wanted to go through all 256, but it literally took me like a month just to get here. And my furthest base, I think, is only up to 30 right now, because I just haven't gone and done anything about it. Because even with the way you do it to save time, you punch in some portal glyphs and you teleport to the last world before the jump. And even with that, it takes forever to make significant progress. But we are just going to return to our search, and I will mention anything interesting. And of course, we don't want any dissonant systems, because I'm not looking for sentinel ships right now. We can do that at a later time. But anyways, so since I last uploaded, what has happened? Well, let's take a look at the state of the world. U.S. politics are in freefall. Everybody is terrified of what will happen there. But the way I see it is that the future is indeterminable, and we have no proof that it even exists. So all we can focus on is right now. And right now, things look bleak. But they'll probably be fine. And of course, by fine, I mean nothing will really change, and it'll probably suck. So that's what, I have to look forward to in this country. Not to get, super political one way or the other, because I don't think there's any need to do that. I just think it's really funny that it's all happening at once. But if you live outside of the U.S., because I know I have a pretty strong UK fan base, I don't even know what's going on over there. So hopefully it's more hopeful than it is over here. Here's a purple Paradise Planet. So speaking of hopeful, things are looking good. So I like purple Paradise Planet. So we'll head down there, see if there's some bubbles or something. But yeah, so U.S. politics are in complete shambles. The NBA playoffs happened since I last uploaded, and I made that video forever ago now predicting the NBA playoffs, and I had the Mavericks and the Celtics in the finals. I believe I had it going to a Game 7, which did not happen. The Mavericks played far more poorly than I expected them to. 76ers I also had going really, really far, but Joel Embiid got hurt. Even, if Joel Embiid didn't get hurt, I'm not sure if they would have made it to the conference finals in the East. Because even when Joel Embiid was healthy during that series, I lost a lot of confidence in them. I think they played the Pacers. I don't know if that's right, but watching that series, I really did lose quite a bit of the confidence that I had in them. So that didn't age very well. But my final prediction, right, of Mavs Celtics in the finals, I don't think a lot of people were expecting at the time that I made that video. And then that was one of my better predictions that I've ever had so far. So felt pretty good about that, actually. This is not as purple as I thought it would be. This is kind of like a pink color. I do like these mountains, though. But anyways, yeah. I was also pretty shocked about how well the Minnesota Timberwolves played in the finals, or not the finals, in the playoffs. They made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, and they played Dallas really hard. Obviously, they lost, and people will look at 4-1 and say it was a gentleman's sweep or whatever. But that was probably my favorite series in the playoffs this year. Was Minnesota versus Dallas. That was a really, really good series, even though at times it felt like only like two or three of them on each team were really playing. Anyway, that was a great series. The New York Knicks did really, really well, and I wasn't really expecting that because I didn't really watch the Knicks this year. But Jalen Brunson is apparently that dude. The OKC Thunder did well. So they might be a team to look out for in the coming years because they're really, really young. I do think they need to get better rebounding. I didn't really look at their free agency period, so maybe they already went and addressed that. They could have got a backup center. For all I know, I have no idea. Again, I've thought about making a free agency recap sort of thing for the NFL and the NBA. I don't know if I would do that on this channel as an ASMR video, or if I would just go and make a new channel. But if I did make a new channel, it's kind of well past time for doing that, so it wouldn't be good in the algorithm to do that. But I've thought about it, and I'm a big sports nut. At least when it comes to the NBA and the NFL, I don't really know anything about baseball, and I know next to nothing about hockey. Because I think hockey is only tolerable when you're actually at the game. I think watching hockey on television is one of the most boring things you can ever experience because the atmosphere is just not there. The atmosphere, the energy, whatever you want to call it. But something about watching hockey on TV is just incredibly, incredibly terrible. I don't know if you guys feel the same way about that as I do or not. You can let me know, of course, in the comments. But that's my opinion on hockey. Basically, I have seriously considered making just a second channel and just talking about sports, because the way sports media works, of course, you don't need to be right. Sports media, as it operates now, is essentially just have I been to this before? I think I may have been here already. But the way sports media works is essentially just whoever gets the most clicks. That's what sports media has become. It's very reactionary. Um, Most people don't even believe the stuff they're putting out. So, you know, I don't know. It's wild. It's really, really wild the way that sports media works right now. So, it's something to keep track of, I suppose. Do I think I could make hot takes that are interesting enough to draw attention and boost myself in the algorithm? Yes. I do think I could do that quite easily, in fact, because it doesn't sound hard at all. I don't need to do research to be a sports journalist. Are you kidding me? They don't even do research anymore. They just say whatever they're feeling, you know? It's all about vibes. I mean, some of them, some of them still do the old-fashioned way of, like, actually having evidence to back up their claims, but not the big ones, not Stephen A. Smith or the God, what is his name? Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless doesn't research anything. Come on now. I think I can't even think of like who has takes in sports that I really follow anymore that I can look at and be like, oh, they must have done their research there. Like Colin Cowherd, absolutely not. He doesn't. Colin Cowherd just goes and says whatever. And like Nick Wright, maybe, but like Nick Wright is honestly at his best when he's just like talking about something that pisses him off, because that's when he does his research, right? When Nick Wright is pissed off, that's when he goes and digs up something from like 8 years ago, and he's just like, oh yeah, this guy sucks, not to tarnish Nick Wright's character or anything, but that's just how it feels when he does his content. It just feels like, yeah, this guy only cares when he's pissed. But no, the sports media world just seems so unregulated right now, which is fine. It's how it is. But it is certainly a very reactionary thing, and I don't know if that's the best for the sport, especially with the way everyone is gambling now, and I don't know. It seems like a melting pot that's getting ready to boil over and explode. But I suppose we'll only have to wait and just see what happens there, but it is what it is, as they say. But yeah, I've thought about making a sports channel, and not doing it in an ASMR way, and just talking about sports, because I could honestly talk about sports until my throat just stops working and I cease to function. This is a cool planet. Let me see how it looks at night. So let me pull up the camera and just get rid of the sun. Yeah, it doesn't look as good at night as I thought it would. I was hoping for like a more bioluminescent look, and it has that for sure, but it's not quite what I want it to be. But anyway, sports media. I honestly thought, when I graduated from high school, and I was getting ready to determine my future, there were a few options that I thought about. Two of them involved sports. One of them was sports media, the other was sports management, because I thought I would either become a sports journalist or a general manager at some point. Obviously, I didn't end up doing those things because I also considered becoming a lawyer and an English teacher and I didn't do any of that either. I also thought about physics as a major. I was very indecisive when coming out of high school, um, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I did really well on my testing. Of course, in America, we have like two major standardized tests that you take before you go into college. Those are the ACT and the SEC, or not the SEC, the SAT. I took the ACT, which I think is becoming less and less relevant now. I think more and more colleges are requiring an SAT score, but I took the ACT and I did really well. I was, I think, fourth or fifth in my class. And I like the thing about my score is I didn't study and I didn't have a calculator. So I absolutely bombed on the math section because I understood the questions, I understood what it was asking. I just didn't have a calculator and I couldn't do it in my head. So I did a lot of guessing on the math section, but I got like a 26, 27, something like that on my first go around. If I had retaken it, which if I decided to go to college, I would have done, because if I had retaken it, I would have prepared properly and very likely would have scored higher. Because as I understand it, at least the ACT people explained it, that pretty much everybody who retakes the ACT scores like 3-4 points higher than they did their first time around. So had I actually gone and cared about academia, because it turns out I don't care about higher education to much of a degree at all. And I think part of that is why I was so indecisive about it in the first place. It was like, do I want to go into film? Do I want to be a general manager of a sports team, however unlikely? Do I want to be a sports coach? Do I want to be a sports journalist? Do I want to be a filmmaker? Do I want to teach people how to write? I don't know. It didn't end up mattering because shortly thereafter COVID-19 happened and basically ruined any real chance I had of ever going back to the academic world. And right now, I sort of see college and universities like a backup plan, right? Like, I'm not overly motivated by money. I'm not overly motivated by career success. I just like doing stuff that I enjoy, I guess. I don't know, it's weird to talk about, because I still am in a state all these years later. Well, all these years, it's not been that long, but I'm still kind of in a state after high school where I don't particularly know what I want to do, and so I guess I make YouTube videos now. I guess that's how it works, because like half the people I can think of off the top of my head are college dropouts on this platform. Some of them are even high school dropouts, which I don't really get that. Like, high school was great for the most part. Like, I don't know, some people have really bad high school experiences. Luckily, I did not, because I feel like that would have absolutely ruined any chance I had at a future. Because, again, I genuinely just don't really care about academics. I like learning, but I don't like learning under... how do I say this? Like, learning under the pressure of other people's expectations, I guess. I like learning on my own. I like to pick and choose the kind of stuff I learn. I don't want to be forced to take some useless elective to get a degree, I guess, is how I should say it. Because it's like, I find physics very interesting. I love physics, astrophysics especially. I think that stuff is so cool, and I want to make a video about that, about the formation of the universe and the planets and the sun and stuff like that. I'd have to write a research paper about it so I get my stuff right, but I'd love to do that. That'd be really cool. But that would take a lot of time. But I love astrophysics. I love science. I love writing. But I don't want to do it because somebody else says, "Oh, you have to do this." It's like, but why? Can't I just do something for the sake of doing it? I don't know. I don't really know if I even made much of a point. Whoa. Okay, hang on. I don't really know if I made much of a point with that. But the point I was trying to make is just that I bow to no authority. I don't like doing stuff because other people, not necessarily because they want me to do it, but because they feel I should be obligated to do it, I guess. I don't know. There's a way I'm trying to explain it, and I don't think it's coming off the way I want it to, but it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do something just because you say I have to do it, I guess. If I'm gonna do anything, it's because I specifically wanted to, and I chose to do it. And it's always been like that, right? Like, I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being bossed around. I very highly prioritize my own independence with that kind of stuff. I don't know if any of you have ever felt that way before. Maybe you have, and you can explain what I'm saying better in the comments. But I've just never been able to do that ever in my life. There we go. We're on the sun side now. But yeah, it's a I wouldn't say it's a problem that I have, but it is something that has certainly gotten me in trouble before. Because I can be combative at points if I feel someone is sort of encroaching on my independence, I guess. It's like if I feel that someone is trying to put words in my mouth, or try to speak over me or speak for me, like, I will get very heated very quickly over that kind of thing. Like, I don't have the patience for that, and I like to think I'm a fairly patient individual overall, but with that kind of thing, it's just, good lord, right? Just don't even talk to me if you think you can tell me what to do, or which is also weird because before I ever had this kind of issue with authority, I think I was like way too much of a people pleaser when I was like really young, and I think that's kind of why I'm the way that I am now, because I don't want to be a people pleaser anymore. And maybe that has something to do with my perfectionism, where it's just like it has to be good by my standard because the opinions of others are so irrelevant to me. I don't know. Like, I can never be reassured of like a lot of stuff I do. Like, no one can sort of get through to me and be like, "Oh yeah, your stuff's not that bad." It's like, no, it sucks. It's horrible. What do you mean? I don't know. It's a lot of stuff that I think I need to talk to a therapist about. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, again, I don't know if I'm making points with any of this stuff. Really, it's just kind of one of those days, just getting back in the groove of sitting down and recording. Having to deal with multiple takes and interruptions and stuff. It's just getting back into the flow of doing this, because I had a streak there where I was uploading like, I don't know, every 3-4 days, and that felt like nothing, right? That felt like nothing. I could do that. Like at the time, I felt like I could just keep doing that forever and ever. But now I've been away. I've been doing other things, and now it's like, oh God, this is a challenge. This is work. This is not easy. But it'll get easier. I'll get back to that point, I have no doubt. Of just doing the work, really. That's like the big things. You ever want to do this kind of stuff, just do the work. And eventually it gets easier. And then you take a break for 45, 46, 47 days, whatever it was. I don't know, I'd have to go back and look at the uploads, but it's been a long time. Like, not having that routine, right? Not having that routine has absolutely destroyed my ability to get back into it. So I kind of have to brute force my way back, I think. So that's why this video is the way it is. That's why it's kind of a discombobulated mess of nonsense, and I'm just, filling space with empty air. Well, I don't know that it's empty air. I'm just filling this space with a bunch of rambling and, whatnot. But people like that sort of thing, or so I'm told. People enjoy that occasionally. So hopefully, if you're still listening at this time, hopefully you're one of those people that enjoys rambling in a quiet and soft-spoken, well, hopefully soft-spoken manner. I try, at least, to be soft-spoken and calming, not to get too animated, because I know sometimes I can be quite passionate about the things I talk about, but I also don't want to, come down here into sort of this whispery area too much. At least not right now, because, it's been so long. I feel like my vocal cords are not back to where they were when I was doing this more regularly, and I don't want to wear out. I don't want to wear out my larynx or anything and cause any permanent damage, but, that's just how it is, right? It's going to take some time to get back into this, because, again, I've just been away, so I feel like I need to start doing vocal exercises again to properly prepare myself. Okay, Paradise. Mars planet of light. So we got another Paradise. Wait. Let's say discovered by me. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. But no. I need to get back into my vocal exercises anyway. Because one of the things that I would love to do, barring that I am successful at the whole YouTube thing, I would love to do more voice work, right? I would love to be a voice actor, potentially, but it's just a skill set that I would love to have more developed. Because when I was in theater, I didn't quite get to that point where I had, specific vocal and accent coaches and stuff. I had one that was, the group, like a communal vocal coach, but we were 12, 13 years old, so it wasn't like the specifics of what you can do with your voice, because that's a lot, right? Your vocal cords are muscles. You can train them like any other muscle, and there are some very, very talented people out there that can do absolutely incredible things with their vocal cords. And I don't think I'll ever get to that level, but it's like I want to improve a little bit, so I just have a more consistent approach, I suppose, to the way that I do videos. It is a process. It is absolutely a process. And like, part of my thinking is if I can improve my vocal range, which I don't think I have a very big range, but if I can improve something, and maybe this is just going back to the whole I'm too much of a perfectionist thing, where it's like I feel like I need to be better constantly all the time, to do stuff that I want to do that prevents me from doing it. But anyway, I feel like I want to improve my vocal range because I would love to like read stories, like Reddit stories or the Grimm fairy tales or something like that. I would love to do that too for content. And I think it's going to get to a point where I just have to do it and see what the reception is. Not that I care too much about what other people think. Like, I don't mean that in a rude way. I hope that doesn't come off as rude when I say that, but it's like I've gotten to a point in my life, and I'm still young, but I've just gotten to a point where it's like, you're always gonna have doubters, right? No matter what you do, no matter how much you practice, no matter how much time you spend doing something to try and make it good, someone will always doubt you, no matter what. And it's just like, let them doubt, I'll be my own doubt. If anyone is going to doubt me, let it be myself, right? That's just where I'm at in my life right now. Is I don't need to appeal to the doubts of others. Like, I'll take criticism. I'll take, if someone's like, hey, I think if you do this, it would improve your stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, that's helpful, thank you. I'll take stuff like that, where it's just like, coming from a place of like, I have more experience than you do, because someone's always going to have more experience than you too. It's like, I will take the the tips and I don't even know what I'm really trying to say there, but it's like I'll take stuff where it's like trying to be helpful. I'm always appreciative of that kind of thing. But it's like, when people are just like haters, right? When people are always just like doubters and constantly negative and this nihilistic outlook on life, it's like, yeah, whatever. Oh goodness, excuse me. I just had a hiccup there. No, it's like people like that honestly just annoy me. It's like, alright, was there a reason for saying that, or but no, that stuff's more annoying than anything. It like makes your eyes roll. It's like, oh brother, this guy stinks. It's sort of like that. But yeah, I've just gotten to a point in my life where it's like, I don't really take that stuff too seriously anymore. I used to, don't get me wrong, when I was first starting in theater, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, that stuff used to ruin me. It's like, they didn't like it, like I was too busy like tying my self-worth to my performances and my arts and my abilities, and it's like, I don't really do that anymore. You hear it so much because I was in theater, and then I was doing all the student film stuff, and you'd go to film festivals, and you'd always hear it. Like, for some reason, and it's not so much true anymore, but for some reason back then, it always felt like the doubters and the negativity was louder than any of the praise, which you always got more of. Like, always you got more positive feedback than anything. And it's like, it always just felt like the negativity was higher, the negativity was louder, and you deal with that for so long that you just kind of become numb to it, right? So nowadays it's just noise, right? And hopefully, if you're out there and you have creative ideas and you have something you want to do that would require some form of self-expression, hopefully you can get to that point where the doubters and the haters and the negativity just becomes noise, and you can just tune it out, right? That is my hope for anyone that wants to make stuff. It's like, you will always have doubters. Why not let it be you and only you, right? I think doubting yourself can lead to improvement in some weird way. Like, having these other people doubting you and taking them seriously, that can derail everything that you're trying to do, because a lot of them don't actually care. A lot of those people that will say negative things and just belittle and berate your work, right? Those people don't actually care. They're just trying to get a reaction. They're just trying to make you feel the way they feel. And once you learn that, it becomes very easy to just ignore it. So, I don't know. I think that is a decent place to end. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if this video made a single point. I guess the lesson from all of this is that I am back. I intend to be back. I intend to get back to a more regular upload schedule. So I hope you are looking forward to that if you are a long-time viewer of the channel, or if you are new and just discovering me for the first time. I hope that's something you will look forward to, that I am planning on, and I am hoping to return to some form of normalcy. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes, I want to be better. Going forward, I want to make more content. I want to make better content. I am hopeful that I will achieve both of those things, and I hope you will be there to see it. So, if you enjoyed this video, remember, as always, to like and comment. And if you disliked it, then go ahead and dislike too. Again, as I stated previously, I don't really care. But yeah, anyways, I thank you so very much for your continued support, and I thank you again for watching. I hope to speak with you all again soon, and goodbye for now.